Hi there, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really pleased to be here today with Annette White, who's General Manager, and Tina King, who's Import Manager at WEC Lines UK Limited. Lovely to meet you both.
Hello, and to you too.
So tell us a bit about what WEC Lines does.
So WEC Lines is, we act as agents. So WEC Lines UK acts as agent for WEC Lines, which is a shipping line.
Right.
So they specialise in both short sea and deep sea container shipping. So we focus on trade in Europe, so Portugal and Spain, and also East and North Africa.
Right.
Also stuff in the Canary Islands, I think.
Gosh.
So yes, global business, and we've got offices across the globe. Okay, so we started as WEC Lines UK in 2019 with about 16 staff, and we have about 30 now, I believe. So,
Oh my goodness. So that has grown a lot.
indeed, yes, absolutely.
So
Would you like to hear?
that's brilliant. And so what sort of different jobs do people do at WEC Lines?
We're very lucky. We have quite a lot of functions within our office in Felixstowe. So we have a finance team who are dealing with all our incoming invoices from our suppliers. They're also managing our customers' accounts, whether they've got a credit facility, making sure the payments are made on time. They then work quite closely with the import and the export teams that we have in the office. And then we also have a container control team and a transport team in the same office.
Right.
So a lot of the communication we do, we can get up and go to people's desks rather than sending emails and waiting for a response.
That feels, I'm sure that's much better. Feels much more efficient as well, I think, sometimes. So those finance teams, are they sort of a very sort of do they tend to be very busy? What sort of skills do people need in those roles?
They're very small teams. The skills that they would need are probably there's a lot of spreadsheet work. There's a lot of calculations.
Wow.
So it's going to have high attention to detail. You've got to be fairly extrovert as well, because it's contacting customers, it's chasing for payments. It's working alongside our Rotterdam office as well, because they also have a function which oversees our function.
Right.
So it's that communication from one office to our customers and also from our office to our Rotterdam office. So there's quite a lot of communication that goes on.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly busy. What sort of other jobs are there that people do?
Well, I work on the import team.
Right.
We're dealing with all cargo that is coming in from Portugal, Spain, the deep sea cargo from from East Africa, and some from India, Pakistan, and they all call into UK ports. So we use various ports around the UK. We see the end-to-end process. So once it's loaded at the load port, we then take over the function, and then we see that it's through right to the delivery, to the final delivery point.
Gosh. And I'm guessing that people ship absolutely all sorts of different things through your containers.
Yeah, I mean, you can go from blue chip customers, like Sainsbury's, Tesco's, people like that, and then you can go to the smaller customers that are shipping in, I don't know, 1 or 2 items that they distribute and things like that. We can offer a whole range of services, from a full container delivery to a cross-docking situation where we'll actually unload the container and then it loads into a tilt, where some sites that you go to can't actually accept a container. So we have an offering where we give them something slightly different.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you've not only got to think about what you're shipping, but also where you're shipping to and what people will accept and what they won't accept.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you're dealing with distribution centres like Sainsbury's and Tesco's, it's very important that they arrive on time. It's very important that every reference that is available is on the delivery note, so they can establish what the actual cargo is before they break the seal on the container.
Right.
Yes, it's all sealed and everything. It's all security conscious. So yes.
And so in the import team, what sort of skills do you find or experience do you find is really helpful for people in that area?
Customer service skills.
Right.
Once you've done a customer service role, you've got transferable skills. And we like to hone in on that. I mean, we've got a wide range of people on our team. We've got some that have been in shipping for about 20, 30 years, up to recently, where we've got a few people on there that have never had any shipping experience before.
Right.
Some of it is actually their first jobs. So they've not
Gosh.
got any work ethics. So they're learning as they go, the work ethics of the office environment, how to work as a team, because let's be real, we're all very different personalities all thrown together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the workplace, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've also taken on somebody that has got extremely good customer service skills because she's worked in McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they have
wow.
a very good training program.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear about those sorts of transferable skills, and how useful that is to you organisationally. Have you got any other sort of roles that people do in your business?
Well, we have a transport team and a container control team here as well.
Right.
That's a little bit more niche, to be fair, because they use a slightly different system to we use. And what you'll find is that around shipping and logistics, a lot of people, a lot of carriers, Maersk, MSC, CMA, some of the smaller forwarders will be using the same transport system as we use. So what it does is you will put a container in there and it will plan a route for you. But we can manipulate the system. So if we're doing a delivery for an import to Alconbury, and then we have an export to pick up within that area, we can do the triangulation. So not only will we get the import there, well, once that import's tipped and the container is empty, we can then send it to the export and collect that and bring that back to port. So that's saving cost because you're doing a round trip and the container's full on each trip.
Wow. Oh my gosh, just the coordination of that just makes my brain it's a little bit in terms of what that must look like on the ground.
It's a little bit more niche than
yeah.
Just keep running.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very specific skill set, isn't it? Do you think overall, sort of like at your organisation, that there are certain kind of characteristics of your organisation that kind of, you know, or with people that make them a good fit to you as a business?
In my opinion, because I've come from a slightly different background, I believe that if anybody has the right work ethics and want to actually do the job and progress and develop, then I think you could train someone to do an import and an export role in customer service.
Wow, that's really good to hear.
Transport and accounts are slightly different. The finance is slightly different because you would need a different set of skills, but everything in customer service, it's just learning those right work ethics, having the ability to learn and develop your knowledge with the people around you. It's a very on-the-job training. It's right in the thick of things. So you're just learning something new every day.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really interesting as well, the different types of work that you'd be doing and all the different people you'd be liaising with.
I love it.
Annette, I was wondering, what sort of background did you come from coming into your role?
For my role, when I first started out, I started just in general administration, and it was kind of in local government. I've done some academic, you know, I've got a few degrees and that sort of thing. But yeah, I came into shipping just under a temporary contract.
Oh, wow.
I'd done it before, just had general administration skills, came in and stayed for, I think it was 12 years in my company until it went into administration. And I've just kind of been in other companies as well. I've also done some work in the civil service. So yeah, I've kind of bounced around a little bit, but it means it gives you a sort of all-round view of things and a bit of a can-do attitude as well, which really helps in general management.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And I think that's such an important message, isn't it? Because sometimes if when you're young, it's easy to feel like you've got to pick one thing and do it for the rest of your life. When actually the reality for many of us is that we pick something and we see where it takes us and our careers evolve. I don't know about you, Tina, what's sort of been your kind of career journey?
Well, I used to work in a hospital.
Right.
And I got made redundant from the hospital and went into the local job centre, and I was put on a back to work scheme.
Right.
Where I had the opportunity to gain a national qualification, an NVQ business administration.
Right.
And that involved a 6-week placement, and that was, my sister worked at a shipping company, so they said, we'll have you for 6 weeks, but we can't offer you a job at the end of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wasn't really what I thought I wanted to do. But during those 6 weeks, they were like, oh my goodness, you picked things up so quickly. We can't let you go.
Oh, wow.
30 years later, I'm still here.
Oh my gosh, that's so good to hear. And again, I think that sometimes it's about taking that opportunity that's in front of you, isn't it? Even if at the time you're not sure if it's a great fit.
Absolutely. But these are transferable skills at the end of the day. It's
just give it a go.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess probably this is kind of like my final question to both of you, really. Tina, we'll go backwards. Shall we start with you and then go back to it? But I was just wondering, if you were to go back and give your younger self a bit of careers advice, what do you think it would be?
Take the leap of faith. It was something completely different to me. I had never considered working in an office. I'd always worked in retail and in the hospital. But it wasn't a great job that I had in the hospital, and I just wanted a better life for my family. So I think it was just taking a leap of faith and trusting your own ability.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it. You do have to push yourself outside your comfort zone, but only you can push yourself that much.
Oh, yeah, I think that's so true. What about you, Annette? What do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Tina, actually. I think it is just effectively just throwing yourself at it. And you might look at it and think, actually, I'm not really going to like this. You know, don't have any preconceptions before you go for a job or go into a job, and just give it a go and be confident about what you do and confident in your own abilities. Because it's quite possible you found the career that you really love.
Oh, that is absolutely a brilliant note to end on. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been great to meet you both.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.